Boatworks today is sponsored by Total Boat and Alexial Yacht Coatings, as well as supported by the generosity from the beautiful folks over on Patreon. Thank you so much. So, good morning and happy Sunday if you're watching this on YouTube, or Saturday if you're watching this over on Patreon. So now the goal for this week is I want to get all of the Portlights glassed over. So here I've got two on the starboard side, so there's the large one, then the smaller one forward, and I have the exact same thing going over on the port side. The general concept is that after I come through and I do all my tapering around the perimeter of all the openings here, I'm going to have a flexible piece of fiberglass that I want to be able to lay in there that's cut to shape, get that situated, and then that's going to be my backer for all the additional glass that's going to be going over forward. Now, when it comes to making that backing piece, I have a couple of options. Each have their pros and cons. Now, keep in mind that regardless of which resin I decide to go with, if it's going to be poly or epoxy, the fiberglass that I'm going to wet out for that backer piece, it's going to have to be done on a piece of plastic so that after it cures, I can peel it up, cut it to shape, and then, keep on keeping on. Now, here's where things can get a little specific. Now, if I go with epoxy, I can use any type of plastic that I want for wetting that material out. This is just regular old 6mm, just heavyweight plastic sheathing. And kind of the one thing I want you to keep in mind is once I roll this plastic out, it's going to be dead flat. I'm not going to have any ripples or anything in there that is going to affect the final shape of the fiberglass. If it's going to be smooth or if it's going to be all rippled and jacked up. Now, the catch is that I cannot use that plastic with polyester resin. The styrene that's in the poly, it will melt that and it'll turn it into a hot mess, and it's just not even really an option. Now, in order to use a polyester resin, I need to use a very specific type of plastic. This is commonly used in vacuum bagging, and basically it's impervious to the styrene that's in the polyester resin. However, when you're looking at this, because it's been folded, it's got a lot of, it's kind of all jacked up. Now, if I decide to go with epoxy, I can use that 6mm plastic sheathing. I can wet out my fiberglass on top of that. It'll cure, it'll pop off, it'll be dead flat, it'll be easy to work with, right? But the compromise there is that I will have to use epoxy for all of the other glass work that's going to go over top of that. Which, thinking a few more steps ahead, if I'm using epoxy, and I, say I get one or two layers laid up in an afternoon, and I've got to check out for, whatever, name your reason, and I got to come back the following day. Now I've got a bunch of sanding that I need to do in order to prep that surface for laying any additional material. Now, the other side of that coin is if I go with a polyester resin, specifically a laminating or non-waxed polyester resin, that doesn't make a bit of difference. I can lay up whatever I can get done in a day, come back the following day, and I can pick right up where I left off. But I'm going to have a lot more texture or printing from that, special type of plastic that I had on the bench there. So, do I want to put the work in on the front end, trying to get that plastic laid flat and kind of keep my fingers crossed, or do I want to take the easy route and then have to deal with additional sanding, in my opinion, that I think would be completely unnecessary? I'm really leaning towards trying to make the polyester resin work, just because, sanding sucks, and the less that I can do, the happier I'm going to be. Now, while the material is curing on the bench, I'm gonna go ahead and start getting these areas prepped out so that when the glass is ready, this area is gonna be ready. Now, the first thing I need to do is I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna be grinding a taper all around each of these openings. I have 4 openings, 2 on the port, 2 on the starboard side. But looking at this area specifically, I'm gonna come in and roughly I'm gonna make a taper about 2 inches around, all the way around. Now, the thickness on here is fairly thin. This is less than 1/4 inch. And for all you metric people, let's just say it's gonna be right around like 5-ish millimeters, give or take. So it's fairly thin. So when I'm grinding these areas or tapering them down, I'm gonna run this taper the full thickness of this laminate. So it's gonna come down, pretty much like a chisel's edge. Now for doing this, I'm gonna be using this particular grinder here. Now, this is a Festool branded grinder, sander, whatever you wanna call it. But to be honest, I'm not convinced that this was a designed top to bottom and actually manufactured by Festool. Just mainly because it's missing too many of the signature features that you see in every other Festool tool. Mainly like the dust collection port is completely different and the power cable is completely different. All other Festool hand tools, you can disconnect this, stores great. Not so much on this one. Now, what makes this tool very unique is that typically when we're grinding glass, we're using what's like a high-speed grinder, right? And those things are humming around at 12, 15,000 RPMs. I mean, they're humming. Now, this thing, on the other hand, this is much, much, much slower. If I had to guess, I don't have my glasses on. Yep, speed 1, which is on the slowest speed, which is how I run it. This is running at 1,500 RPM, so it's a lot slower. And the reason that's nice is because it's spinning slower, it's gonna be a lot easier to control. So with the high-speed grinders, I've had times where that thing, it'll catch an edge, and it'll jump up on you, and if you're not careful, it'll jump up and hit you in the face. This thing is spinning slow enough, not really able to do that. I mean, you'd have to really not be paying attention, and honestly, even then, I don't know that it's really a possibility. But the other reason I like this particular, I'm gonna call it a grinder, is that it does have some built-in dust collection. Now, just because of the nature of the tool, it's not gonna be, fantastic or amazing like, say, any of their regular old hand or palm sanders. But I would say it does snag, I don't know, maybe 75, 80% of all the dust, which is, a huge improvement over 0. So I'll take it. Now, unfortunately, this particular tool was discontinued about, I don't know, maybe 6, maybe even 8 years ago at this point. And that's unfortunate. But like I said, when I first started this, I am not entirely convinced that this was an exclusive Festool type, type of a tool. I have a feeling that they basically had somebody manufacture this for them. They white labeled it and then, sent it down their line. So there is a possibility that even though this has been discontinued under the Festool brand, that there might be a very, very similar version of this available under a different brand. So I haven't looked, I can't, I'm not saying that there is, but I think that there's probably a fair chance that you might be able to find one. If nothing else, if you find one of these units used and you've got some fiberglass work, 100%, I cannot recommend this particular unit high enough. Now, the model number on this is the RAS, so everybody just referred to it as the RAS, but it's the RAS 115. But that's what I'm gonna be using here. I think I've got like 6D grit loaded up on the pad here. So I'm gonna get things fired up. Oops. I'm gonna get everything fired up, and then we're gonna start making a little bit of dust. Hopefully, Brutus here does its job. All right, well, I got the exterior all prepped and that's ready to go. However, one thing I noticed while I was doing the grinding is that I still got all this, whatever, wallpaper, whatever this crap is. So, until that gets peeled back, at least back far enough to where it's not going to get locked in with resin when I start laying the glass in. But I need to peel all that stuff off on both the port and starboard side. That is going to have to wait until tomorrow. But before I check out tonight, I just want to make sure that the glass that I laid up last night, I just want to make sure that it's, well, I know it's cured. I touched it, but I want to make sure it'll peel off that vacuum bagging material. So, looking promising. That never gets old. Well, this is going to be a little interesting. Now, I wanted these backer pieces to be, as small as I could get them, but still have, enough surface area on here for bonding. But to make sure this goes smooth, I am going to, like you see me doing here, I am going to align everything with some tape, and I'll flip everything come time to actually butter this up. I'll be able to just flip this whole thing over on top, get a little bit of structural putty all around the perimeter, fold it back over, and if everything goes as planned, everything should be in contact. So let me get the other windows prepped, and we'll grab some repair putty. Now this is a non-waxed material. So what that means is that after I go ahead and I get these mounted, I don't need to do any sanding before I can start laying some glass over top of this. I don't want to have to jostle that around any more than I have to. So just being able to come back next week and then start getting this material laid up right away, no sanding, I think that's going to work in my favor. As long as we're running, let's take a little look-see over on the port side here. Make sure everything here is cooperating, which so far so good. And you just saw me lay up the starboard side. So that is very much a breaking point for me tonight and also for this week. So as always, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found this helpful. And if you did, hit that thumbs up button. If you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Thank you in advance. I greatly appreciate it. If you have any questions, comments, feel free to leave those down below. I will do my best to follow up with you. And as always, I want to thank you for your time. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna go have some dinner. Have a wonderful night. And I'll see you in the next video.
This has been a Boatworks Today production.